Right, welcome to the Wednesday Bike Club, everybody. So this is going to be one of those, you know, mix and match. So I got a lot of things to go through today. So it's not picking one subject, but there's a few things I need to cover. A little bit of admin, but you might have also spotted that yes, the Meteor is still here, but I'll talk about that in a minute. So first things first. So I've been meaning to do this for ages. So congrats to Tony Shearman, who won the gloves, the heated gloves. Here's a picture of Tony sporting the gloves, obviously in the heat. But Tony is in the east of the country. Was it Suffolk, Norfolk? So, but he's a riding instructor, so he'll be using those in the winter. So great, glad you got those, Tony. So I'm glad they arrived safe. On the other hand, poor Jed. I'm so sorry, Jed. We've had this terrible problem. We're trying to get the code. So he won. He sort of got second place, and there was Saviour gave us a code, but we're struggling to get the code to work properly. It sort of works, and then it says we can't post to there, but we will get there. I'm going to come up with an idea, Jed. So hang in there, and I'll be in touch this week if I've not already been in touch with you before. But we will get there. We'll sort it out. But yeah, we might try and do another competition at some point when I get some kit, because I'm going to talk about a little piece of kit today as well, but we'll do that in a minute. So what's been happening? Well, I just want to go back on an episode that we've just done with the, you know, I did the three-way. Don't get ideas there. So the Bantam, the Hunter, and the GB350, and that obviously was generated quite a lot of interest. And obviously you get fans of all those bikes, those three bikes, the real fanboys, and I love all of them. I'm a huge fan of the Hunter, as you know, but some people did point out that because our Hunter is 2023, and the Hunter has been updated a little bit. So with that in mind, I will look to get down to Enfield, which is at Sykes Harley, Enfield. And I'll look to take one of the new ones out if they've got one there available. I'm sure they probably will have, because I think the Meteor is ready for its for a valve check, or coming up for a valve check. So I'll look to take one of those out and see if there is any difference, particularly because it was a suspension more than anything, wasn't it? But I know they've got some lovely new paintways, colours and stuff. So that's something I'll look at. But yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, that I think if you're a Honda person, you'll love the Honda, and you know, vice versa if you're one of the sort of new converts to BSA and all the rest of it. But I think what's interesting, and I've got one more video to come with the Bantam, which again will probably generate quite a lot of interest. But I'll put that in a couple of weeks because I've got some other bits coming before that. But the Bantam has gone back now, and I'm going to bring the Meteor into this in a minute. But you know, I have to say that blooming Bantam engine is fantastic. That little 335 or 334 engine is superb. And I am reliably informed that there are going to be 2 or 3 new bikes on that platform. They are going to be based on the Bantam, but they're going to be, I would say radical, but it looks like they're going to be really popular. And I'm sort of glad that I've held off buying a Bantam, because I think there might be one in the lineup, which is we're going to be right up my alley. So yeah, watch out for those. And I think BSA is going to be a really, really big brand next year, the end of this year and next year. We might get the odd cargo pass today, because I'm in a sort of rather random place. But yeah, I think it's really interesting to look out for BSA the next sort of 12, 18 months. I think what's holding BSA up with a lot of their bikes, and this is the same with a lot of manufacturers, isn't it, is the emissions. You're getting the emissions right and coming in within those new controls we've got. And I think you find that so many bikes are being strangled by these blooming emissions. I'm not saying that it's not a good thing to, you know, for your motor vehicles to be clean, but I think you can go so far to a point where it's not cleaning up the environment. What you're doing, you're just trying to change the market and, you know, get rid of this, and it sounds all great and good, and I think you're making worse problems, because in the end we'll just have to dump all these things, you know, and I think that's a bad thing. But yeah, interested to see what BSA are doing. So in terms of the Meteor, so yes, the Meteor is still here. This is the bike that doesn't really want to leave me, isn't it, really, now? And you know what? I've done, when I've picked up the Enfield Bear, and I had to go to Silverstone to get that. I took this and left it there for a couple of weeks. When I went to get the BSA, I went up to Coventry. I took this to do it. Do you know, this is such a great little donkey, you know, pack horse. I've said this before, and it just does it. I just put bits in the panniers, you know, and it just plods up, plods down. You know, it's just, maybe I'm not going to say if someone didn't offer me something for the bike, I wouldn't take it and, you know, use that maybe at the end of the year for one of those BSAs. But it's just, what a great piece of kit. And it's one of those bikes like you know, when you've got one, you know why people love them, and people have got these, they just love them, and I can understand why, because it's comfortable. And the other thing interesting, which I noticed about the Bantam compared to this, when I dropped the Bantam off, when I came back on this, on the motorway, you know, cruising at 60, 65 was, you're not stressing the engine, it's just plodding along. And it's quite comfortable at those speeds, sort of 60 miles an hour, which is what I tend to want to ride at anyway. But it just does it so well, doesn't it? What a great bike. The funny incidents I had with this though, before I took it up to get the BSA, and I don't know if anybody else has had this, is that I did an oil change on it. I thought I better do an oil change on it. And I'd never done an oil change on I don't think I'd done one on a J series from memory. Well, clearly not, because of the problem I had. So, you know, I got the bowl underneath and all the rest of it, and put it on a centre stand, which is great, isn't it, when you get centre stands? They're so useful. And there's some sort of airplane coming over. I think there's an air show around here today. And I'm actually at a church near where I go up to the Sussex Bench. It's really busy today. It's Sunday. It's really busy, and this seemed quiet. I thought, oh, this will do. So put the bowl under. Great. Found the drain plug. Hold that thought. Undid that. I also was, you know, loosen off the filler cap as such to lose the vacuum. You know, a cap full of oil came out, and I'm sitting there thinking, oh my God, there was no oil in this. There was no oil in my bike. I thought, this is terrible. What's happening there? There's no oil in my bike. I thought, that can't be right. Surely that can't be right. You know, it clearly would have blown up, you know, the last time I came back from Silverstone or whatever it was. So what did I think? No, I'm being nuts here. I'm being stupid. So straight onto the internet, onto YouTube. You know, changing the oil on your Meteor. So you're having a look there, and the oil change thing is not a single nut, is it? Although that nut does come into it, you got there's a plate underneath the casings, and it's like a two nut case. Undo that, and it all comes out. And I thought, thank goodness for that. But I don't know if anybody else has said that. I thought, there's no oil in my bike. So I drained it out, left it for ages, let it drain out. Changed the oil filter, which is nice and easy, isn't it? And refilled it with fresh oil. And you know what? It really did run lovely going up to Coventry. It's fantastic, you know. I think you forget sometimes. I had this when I used to look after garden machinery and all the rest of it. We used to service those so often that I used to love doing that. It's that joy, isn't it, of servicing your car or your bike and all the rest of it, putting fresh oil in and all the rest of it, and then taking it out for a run. And I really enjoyed that. So yeah, so she's still with me, and it's still giving great service. And you know, it just blooming does it, doesn't it, the Meteor? And yeah, maybe she'll be here for longer. I think what will happen, I'll have to go back and get the Classic 350 from France and bring that back. So if I've still got this will probably go back to France, probably something like September. So she'll see it back out there again. But it's such a great little tourer, because I can put the bag on the back and do that. One thing I will say again, and you know what? Do you know, I never take my own advice, and it's not really fixed to the Meteor. Was about journeys again, the amount of time I want to stay in the saddle, because that to Coventry and back was about 260 miles, I want to say, something like that. So I rode up, had a break at Oxford Services, and then, which is fine, have a cup of coffee and then carry on. So the ride up is great, but when you got to sort of turn around after 15 minutes and come back again, You know, I felt that the next day I really felt that, and I thought, why am I doing that sort of my body's not doesn't cope with it very well anymore. So anyway, so that's that. So I really need to really stick to what I say, you know, practice what I preach, you know, restrict my mileage, you know. Maybe it'd have been better just to ride up there and, you know, stay overnight and then come back the next day, whatever it is. But yeah, I know when I go back to France, I need to, I may even do my journey down to the house in three sections and go to sort of 2 other places. That sounds like a Spitfire. Does it? No, it's all right. It's a Stuka. So I'll take cover in a minute. So yeah, the Meteor's still here. It's going to hang around for a little bit longer, and it's still doing the business for me as a little daily commute and everything. So what a great bike, right? One important thing I want to get at before I look at the Sorfin light system is I've got another channel. There is another channel. It's not a two-wheel rider channel. It's something I've been wanting to do, and it's not as intensely done as this, but it's a photography channel for me. And I was very heavily into photography for many years, and I still have a great passion for it, and street photography and stuff like that. But I don't do as much as I used to. But you know, when you watch stuff on YouTube and you think, blimey, there's a lot of nonsense talked and stuff. And I thought, oh, well, I'll put my 5 penny worth in. So I have started another channel, and this is obviously where I'm looking now, because in a not too distant future I'll be retiring completely, so it means I'll have more time on my hands to devote to all of this stuff. But the main channel is the bike channel, don't worry about that. So if anybody wants to have a look at that, me gibbering on about photography and giving tips and talking about film photography and digital photography and all sorts of stuff, but I'm also going to be putting on there about the action cameras and all those sort of stuff that I use to film this. So, and maybe a little bit of drones and messing around. So it's called The Candid Photographer. I'll put the link in, The Candid Photographer. There's only 2 episodes up there at the moment. I'm doing one every Sunday. So if you fancy a coffee and a watch on a Sunday afternoon, me blithering on about cameras and film and taking pictures, which is, a really important part of my life. So yeah, do watch that if you want to do that. I'd appreciate the subscribe to get the algorithm sort of understanding where I am. I think we've been up a week and I think I've got something like 9 subscribers. It reminds me of going back to that time when I first started and you got so few subscribers and you get like 10 and then it goes down to 8 and you think, oh, what happened? It's a bit like that. So anyway, the Candid Photographer. So it's a discussion thing and practical side of stuff. So if you're interested in photography, do watch that. Right. So this is the bit of kit I wanted to show you. So it's the Sorfin lighting system. This is not a hard sell from me. I was asked a couple of times if I would look at these, and I like a bit of or gadgets, and this was really cool. And these are not expensive. I think if you look on the site, I think there is a discount code. I never take anything out of these codes. Because I never link up to them, but I just think it's a nice bit of kit. It's worth looking at because I think it's got some really nice, useful features on it, which work really well for the motorbikes, but also if you do a bit of motorbike camping. So we're going to cut now to me looking at it in a bit more detail. So the Sorfin light, these obviously LED lights, but they're incredibly powerful. They're only small. But the actual construction, their metal construction, they're nice and solid. They got that real nice solid feel to them. But they have this interesting thing where you've got several mount systems where you can, and I'll show you the one on the bike in a sec. But the way that they operate, so you've got several settings. So the big button on the top, you press that 3 times quickly and that unlocks it, which is nice. So you can't turn it on inadvertently. And then it's on its lowest setting. And then if you hold it down, it gets brighter and brighter. By crikey, is it bright. It's also got a thing where it flashes on the top. Then where I think this is really useful, and you know me, I like to think out the box. This is so bright. If you found that your headlight bulb went, you could probably strap this to the front of your bike on your mudguard just to get you home. It's that bright. But on its brightest setting, you get about, I think it's about an hour about an hour's worth of flat out light with this. On its lowest setting, you get about 10 hours constant light. So it's quite a nice thing that you can put in in your tent, whatever it is, to get that light out of here. And to a full charge, it's 45 minutes. But these are, I'll put the prices up, and you'll be seeing this as I'm talking to you anyway. I think it's only about 11 quid, this light, and it's such a nice thing. But I'll show you the thing what I mean about on the bike, where it's got this really nice strap system. And because it's a USB-C charger, I'm going to have one of these on my bike, and it's got like a magnetic cradle, and you can just clip it in. You can also attach it to your keys and a key ring. It's got those sort of things, and a chain. It's got a nice strong sort of wire connector where you can use as a key ring. I think it's all right if you've got the key ring and your key is in the middle, like where your clocks are. But I think if you've got like a Bonneville type bike where the key is down the side, I think I had that before where I had something too big on there and it was constantly rattling and it was taking the paint off. I think it was the frame or something. But these Sorfins are really good, and they are sort of shower proof. You've got that quick release system. It's only 20 grams, it only weighs 20 grams, but it feels a lot heavier than that. It's really solid. So do check them out. This is the SE1. It's their sort of base model, but they do them in a few colours. We got blue, silver, and they do gold as well. No, blue, silver, and like an orange. And Karen's got an orange one. But they're nicely packaged, but they're a good price. And I just think it's a nice clip-on thing, because if you've got your USB charger on your bike, I've got it on here, so I've got my phone one permanently mounted into the USB charger. So with this, I can just take the phone out or just put this in, or whatever I'm using, whether I'm using the sat navs and things like that. So these are cool. So look them out, the Sorfin lighting system, and they do several different types of light, but this is the one they sent me. And I say it's got these great little magnetic cradles, which are great just to fit in on the bike. And it's just always there in emergency, being so small. So yeah, look those out, Sorfin lighting system. So thanks for them for sending me that. And I think there's going to be some sort of, I think it's like a Jubilee pack or something. But if I do get another one, then I might send one out as a competition. We'll see, but I'll have that in my hand this time. Sorry, Jed. Trust me, Jed, we will get to the bottom of this. But yeah, so there we are. So yeah, I think this is rambled on a bit now. But as you know, I always do. So just quickly then, last thing, what have we got coming up? Well, we've got the Scrambler reveal. Yes, my Kawasaki Scrambler is finished pretty much. I've been riding it around actually the last couple of days. I messaged a couple of people and I said, this thing sounds evil. This is awesome. I think that will be next Saturday's episode, will be the Scrambler reveal. But I think it looks fantastic, but I'm biased. Anyway, so yeah, watch out for that one next Saturday, and probably the Saturday after that will be the last BSA one, I think, in there. And then I've got some other stuff coming up, which I'm doing. So there you are. I'm probably going to got a camping one coming up. I might try and camp with the Kawasaki Scrambler, but I might need to quieten it down a little bit because people in the campsite are not going to be happy. But I'm going to do something with it. And then we'll back out in France, so they'll be doing some more from France when I come back. Right, I hope you enjoyed that. I know it's a bit of a here, then, everywhere, but yeah, look out for the Candid photographer, please. I can hear a peregrine falcon up there. I think it's a peregrine, or it's a sparrowhawk on the church. Beautiful church here. I must remember this spot. Right, look after yourselves, ride safe. Thanks for all your comments and everything, and I do try and keep up with them as best I can. And I'll see you in the next episode. Right, take care, everybody. Look after yourselves.